Since 93 Sports, the only place for sports, entertainment, and the most relevant social issues of today.
Since 93 Sports, back with another one. Wanted to get my thoughts on the boxing scene article where Larry Holmes is saying that Anthony Joshua would knock Mike Tyson out. And he said that basically Anthony Joshua would tower over Tyson, who was 5'10", and Anthony Joshua 6'6". And he's saying how Mike Tyson bends down and comes up with looping shots, and a guy like Anthony Joshua would be hitting him with all kinds of straight punches. And he's saying eventually Anthony Joshua would connect with the right hand and Mike Tyson wouldn't get up. So I just can't go for that. We know that Anthony Joshua, this is a good division compared to previous years, but this is not a very super competitive division when you look at it historically. When you compare it to the 90s where we had Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, we had Lennox Lewis, we had Tommy Morrison, Razor Ruddock. We had all these guys, man, that some of these guys that didn't even get titles, and they would definitely get titles in today's era. It's just countless names, man, where it was just ultra, and Evander Holyfield, and it was just ultra competitive, man. Then you look at the late 60s to all the way through the 70s. You know, you had Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Big George Foreman. It was just countless guys, man, that it was very competitive. So we just don't, like, Anthony Joshua would never be tested against a guy that's as skilled as Mike Tyson. So you wouldn't even be able to gauge if Anthony Joshua would even be able to defeat Tyson. In my opinion, Tyson would just be way too much for Anthony Joshua. I don't think there's any fighter that's fighting today that could put the amount of pressure that a prime Mike Tyson will put on Anthony Joshua. Just a guy who's coming in, bobbing and weaving and throwing punches, and he's not stopping, man. The most active first 4 or 5 rounds that you could think of, and I just see Anthony Joshua being overwhelmed, man. Just being in there like a deer in headlights, not knowing what to do. A guy coming at you full force, and if you don't know what you want to do in the fight, you know, you just gonna get caught. And that's what happened to a lot of guys that fought Tyson. So I believe this is coming from a place of hate, okay? Because we saw in the article, Larry Holmes is, you know, still coming up with excuses, still not accepting he got his ass whooped. He's like, yeah, Tyson beat me, but you got to remember, I was coming off a 2-year layoff, and I was on tour with bands, and I wasn't even thinking about boxing. Okay, so we know this is coming from a place of hate. And on top of that, Larry Holmes, he's used to the era of newspaper clippings and all this shit. This is the age of technology, social media, okay? So I was looking for another interview to reference for this video, and I pulled up a video where Larry Holmes is ringside, okay? It's right after the Tyrell Biggs fight. It's the fight before Tyson is going to fight him, and in the interview, the announcers asking him about the fight, and Larry Holmes is talking about how he's so experienced and he's a grown man and he got a great jab and right hand. He's gonna knock Tyson out. And the announcer asked him about the layoff, okay? Mind you, today, 30 years later, Larry Holmes is saying, oh, the layoff, I'm coming off a 2-year layoff and I wasn't even doing boxing. But back then when they asked him about the 2-year layoff, he said, it was good for me. I was fighting 4 or 5 times a year, and I just needed a break from boxing and to recuperate. And, you know, he's just contradicting himself and talking about how he just got through doing a 15-round exhibition for Don King, and Don King told him it was only 12 rounds, and he went 15 rounds, and it's just bullshit, man. And we saw the end result. Tyson got him the fuck out of there. Okay, just lifted him off his fucking feet with a goddamn right hand, and it was bad, man. It was real ugly and brutal. Okay, and he treated him, you know, like like a young lion is supposed to treat an old lion, okay? And nothing's wrong with that, but just admit you lost, man. You went into the fight, you thought that you could beat, you honestly thought you could beat Mike Tyson, and you couldn't. The guy was better than you thought he was, and he still 30 years later he cannot accept that. Okay? So, and then I referenced a 1989 interview with Bryant Gumbell where he had Ali Frazier, Ken Norton, and Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes tried to shit on Tyson again. He's like, everybody here, all these fighters, we would all beat Tyson in our prime. And there's a few fighters there that could have gave, they probably, some of them probably could beat Tyson. But you just trying to shit on him because he just knocked your ass the fuck out. Okay? And Frazier just took up for him and was like, nah, Tyson's a monster. He got skills. And, I think he was just taking up for Tyson because Tyson's a similar fighter to him. Both short fighters that, had to always fight bigger guys. But that's my thoughts, man. Larry Holmes, he just hating on the guy. And he it's almost 30 years later, man. 2018, it'll be 30 years from when Tyson and Holmes fought. And Holmes just still can't get over the fact that Tyson was better than he thought he was. And he knocked him the fuck out. And it wasn't sweet. So that's my thoughts, man. I'm going to put the links to the boxing scene article, and I'm going to put the links to the 2 videos that I referenced for this video. And make sure y'all check those out. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon and be notified when all my latest content drops. And I'm out.